Today we're learning how to save for a down payment. It is probably one of the largest struggles that I find when clients reach out to me. Saving for a down payment, especially in the GTA market, is a long process. No one wakes up today expecting to buy a house tomorrow without proper planning. So we're going to break down on how to save for that down payment. Starting off, you need to know how much of a down payment you need. So think of it like a GPS. If you don't know where you need to go, it won't be able to help you get there. Your down payment amount will be relative to the price of the property you're looking to buy, as well as what mortgage you'll qualify for at the time. And when we're talking about saving for a down payment, we're talking 5, 10, maybe 15 years down the road if you're starting from scratch. Of course, we don't know what home prices will be at that time, so it is all going to be relative to your unique situation. So definitely on the bigger scale of things is always save the most amount of money possibly as you can. Don't forget there will be closing costs and you want to have some personal savings on top of that. The recommendation is having another 4 months of living expenses saved up. Now we know more or less the price point you're going to be looking at so you can determine the down payment is you need to set a budget and stick to it. Every single penny that you earn needs to be accounted for. What you need to do is take a look at your previous bank and credit card statements. And if you really want to take things serious, go back and look at the entire year. By going through all of these statements, you'll know where you spent your money and on what. When it comes down to it, we all have the essentials. That's your housing, transportation, utilities, and food. Everything else is extra. Next, find ways to save. So taking those statements, choose 3 colors of highlighter. Choose one to be your absolute must-haves. Like I mentioned, your housing, utilities, food, and transportation. The second highlighter color is going to be things that are nice to have. Maybe you can live without. Maybe you can renegotiate the cost of it. And the third highlighter is things you absolutely do not need. So now we know exactly where savings and cuts can be made in your budget moving forward. Ideally, you want to save 10% of your take-home pay into an emergency savings account or put into investments. If you have debt, use another 10% to start paying those down as soon as possible. And now you're living off the remaining 80%. If you really want to speed things up and take it seriously, is learn to live off less. So you're living off less of your income and you're putting more towards your savings and or paying down that debt. Be sure to revisit your numbers every single month so you know where every penny is going, and always continue to cut and save where you can and put that extra funds into your savings. And of course, think about other ways you can save. Eat in instead of going to restaurants. Shop at the lower price stores. If there's some items that you absolutely need, can you maybe find them cheaper on Facebook Marketplace or a secondhand store? Say no to splurges, and any big purchases, use the 30-day rule. Is sit on it for 30 days. Oftentimes you'll probably forget about it or realize you don't actually need whatever it is. Now that we've got savings under control, we're going to find ways to make more money. Now you know your own situation better than anyone else. So if you have a chance to ask for a raise, do it. Take extra shifts if that's possible. Start a side hustle and find any items later on the house that you haven't used in a long time that could be valuable to someone else and sell those. At the same time, we want to be paid off debt ASAP. You'll hear 2 common strategies if you're researching how to pay down debt. The first being you start with the highest interest rate debt, no matter what the balance is. Second strategy is paying off the debt with the lowest balance first, despite what the interest rate is. And then if you have other debts, of course, always make the minimum payments. And this is sort of the psychological aspect of it, where you get super pumped and super excited every single time you clear off a debt. And that gets you more and more excited to hit the next one. Ideally, while you're paying down debts, if you have it, you're saving for an emergency fund. If that's not possible, get rid of the debts first and then start saving for the emergency fund. Build up to $1,000 and do not touch it. And be sure to take advantage of your bank's high interest savings account. So each month you are accruing interest on that and it's compounding over time. So you're making money while it just sits there. Ultimate goal with the emergency savings is to build up 4 months of living expenses. Like I just mentioned, savings should be in a high interest savings account. If you want to be a little more aggressive and you're looking for maximum long-term growth, then put it in a managed TFSA. A high interest savings account is your safest bet because you're not losing money like you might in a TFSA that fluctuates with the market. On the flip side, long term, you will not see anywhere near the same amount of gains as you would in a TFSA. And with that, something to always keep in mind is when you pull that money out, if you're looking for a specific dollar amount at a specific time, like I said, it fluctuates with the market. So always try and save more than you're expecting to spend, just in case the timing isn't absolutely perfect. Either way you do it, do not hold on to cash and do not put your money in an account that's paying you no interest. With the inflation, as you know, we experienced last year in 2022 is 6.8%. So any cash laying around or money that's not compounding over time lost 6.8% of its value. Make your money work for you without having to do a thing and take advantage of compound interest and long-term growth. If you're not sure where to start, check the description below. I've got a link to Wealthsimple and you get your first $10,000 managed free until January 2024. And lastly, ask friends and family to help with the down payment. And in turn, they earn a portion of the property and the equity that it will see over the years. You want to make sure this is legit and have it in writing because they'll want to protect their money as well because they are taking it as an investment. So they'll get their money back and any gains when you sell the property, or you could always refinance and buy them out of the portion so they get their returns and they're free and clear of title and you own it 100%. By following these steps, you will be well on your way to saving for your down payment. There's a lot of variables. You're in a unique situation compared to the next person. So do what you can to cut out all those extras, all those splurges, and all of those expenses that you don't necessarily need. Find ways to save money and make more money so that you can buy your very first property sooner rather than later. For the majority of people out there, it will be painful. You're going to have to say no to a lot of things. However, it's short-term pain for that long-term gain of enjoying your very own property. I'm here to help. Contact details are below. Send me a message and I'll be happy to connect.